Hello everybody, I am the Son of the Morning, and I am here to bring you another Ye Olde Comic Con Modern Comic Review. Today what we're going to be looking at is the Savage Avengers. Now, the Savage Avengers is already on issue number 10, and they've also had a 0 and an annual. So we've already had 12 issues, and I'm not trying to make an hour and a half long video here, so I'm going to do my best to go through the main storylines. I'm going to talk about the first issue, the annual, the importance of the 0, and then we'll do more of a traditional review of number 10, because this is a really good climax in number 10. So, Savage Avengers, gotta say, in my opinion, most badass superhero team ever assembled. So I'll just bring this to the forefront here. You can see Venom, Brother Voodoo, or I guess Dr. Voodoo. Conan, not my favorite, but he provides some good stuff. The Punisher, Elektra, and Wolverine. And as you can see over here, Doctor Strange will be showing up eventually as well. Now, when we open up the book here, like I said, we're not going to go into too much crazy stuff, but there is some important things that we need to get to here. So they are starting off in the city of Sickles. Before we get to anything, let's do the credits here. Writer Jerry Dugan, artist Mike Deodato Jr., colorist Frank Martin, letterer VC's Travis Lantham. The cover was by David Finch and Frank Darmada. Actually, this variant cover was done by, I don't even know which one this is, so I can't tell you. At any rate, this is the Savage Avengers. Where we're picking it up here, Conan has joined a band of the Avengers on a dire mission to restore light to the universe. The victory came at a cost for the Cimmerian. The final battle he was cast away by the enemy, and landing in the Hyborian Age, he found himself on present-day Earth in the Savage Land. And so that's sort of where we start here. The humorous part about this at the beginning is when Conan is, of course, being the warrior, killing, maiming. It's what he does best. He's in a strange place. That's some great art right there. He's in a strange place, and he is just trying to defend himself. And then, of course, he comes across what you would probably want to call a worthy adversary in the Wolverine. Now, he of course engages the Wolverine in a fight. We can see here, it's actually pretty funny if you read the dialogue, because Conan is not understanding why he's not able to kick this little Wolverine guy's butt. But the Wolverine is giving him, of course, the fight of his life, which goes on and on and on. I'm not going to go ad nauseum on that. Eventually, they both sort of crash through a pit, and that's the end of the fight there. Everyone's a little bit confused, and they sort of part ways at this point in time. At which point we move over here where Brother Voodoo is around, and he's worried about gangsters on the island that are disappearing, so he is concerned about these things, and he's just wanting to help. And of course he's getting the idea that there's something supernatural going on around here, and there most definitely is something supernatural going on. We're just gonna flip through this. Conan climbing up towers, being Conan. I gotta say, Conan is not a character that I would never go and buy a Conan book. That's just really not my thing. But I have to say that Conan in this series is absolutely hilarious. I would call him the comic relief of this series. Basically, he's C-3PO, for lack of a better term. So, you know, Conan is in trouble. The Wolverine is in trouble. And it starts raining here. And at which point the Punisher decides to show up. Frank Castle is always an excellent addition to any team. So the Conan and the bad guys now have to worry about Frank Castle. And that's how the first issue ends. And well, it's an excellent cover, but I'm going to show you all of that stuff afterwards. Now, the next thing I wanted to show you was the Savage Avengers Annual, which is actually primarily focused on Conan. Obviously, we can see Submariner and Black Widow there. So, in the Annual, this is more of it breaks from the story. This actually was released somewhere after the 6th or 7th issue, somewhere around there. So this one, it's more of just a story of Conan, and Conan sort of tracing his path back to where he needs to be. We aren't quite there yet. Alright, so here we got Conan walking into a bar. He is demanding to be served. He isn't served promptly, and then crushes somebody's head into the wall. Sits down, enjoys some beer. Regular Conan fare, at least in Savage Avengers. But of course, that wasn't enough for Conan. He needed to beat up every single person that was in the bar, which he, of course, goes ahead and does. And once he does that, he realizes that he's in a brothel, and that he has just set these women free, and that he is, they're going to be very generous towards him for setting them free from their bondage. And of course, Conan being Conan, he is never going to deny such things. So he drinks, parties, has fun. Let's just leave it at that. And then at some point, they need to make a break for it when somebody comes for them. And Conan, of course, being Conan, wants to fight. These people have guns. Conan makes the comment, "I hate these infernal contraptions," and then goes ahead and just beats everybody up, because that's what Conan does. Now, this is for me where it gets interesting. Now, we've just seen how Conan has freed a brothel and seemingly had a good time doing so. But then he is confronted by this raven-haired wonder. We know her as Black Widow or Natasha Romanoff, and she offers to help Conan, which at first he says that he doesn't need help. Of course, we all know how formidable Black Widow is. And then we go on here. She helps him with the Submariner, helps him get together, and they can sort of come to an agreement. The Widow, the Devil, and the Barbarian get off on a hike deeper into the jungle. And that's, like I said, this is mostly, this comic is sort of like traveling around to different places. Gotta love this art. Here, Conan doesn't like slavers. He's gonna bring them a reckoning. More fighting, more fighting. Black Widow and the Submariner are helping Conan defeat all of these guys here. Conan is not impressed as usual, but hey, a battle's a battle and he's got to do what he's got to do, right? And now we're coming towards the end of this annual here. Like I said, not a whole lot happens in the annual. I love this page here at the end. I think it's absolutely fantastic. Because Conan starts to exclaim here. He says, over the course of the previous, or well, he doesn't say. Over the course of the previous day, Conan had lain with a woman, snuffed out a gang of slavers, stolen a flaming horse, freed a grateful woman, and become enthralled by an intriguing redhead whom he was sure he would meet again. Ordinarily, those feats would launch a celebration that would last a fortnight, but the deeper into the world he wandered, the more powerful the stench of sorcery became. That's something that is throughout the series. Conan doesn't like sorcerers. He doesn't like sorcerers like the villain Kulan Gath. He doesn't like sorcerers like Doctor Doom or Doctor Voodoo or Doctor Strange. He just doesn't like it at all. Now, one of the things that I find so charming about Conan in this series is that the man is 1/3 butt-kicking savage, 1/3 chivalrous ladies man, and 1/3 fearless warrior. So it will go into any sort of battle. Now, the last thing I wanted to show you, and this is actually in a lot of the comics where it shows Conan's journey. Now, he's starting here down in Antarctica. He's then made it up so far. We're in South America. Eventually, he's going to end up in Europe before something pretty funny happens. But we'll get there in a few minutes. So that was the Savage Avengers Annual. Conan, he's got a thing for the Black Widow. It hasn't materialized yet, but I have a feeling we haven't seen the end of that. Now, the next thing that I wanted to show you was Savage Avengers 0. Now, I'm not going to spend a lot of time on this because really it's just a few pages here at the beginning of Doctor Strange talking about the issues that he's had with the bad sorcerer Kulan Gath in the past. And then it turns into 2 issues from the past. Let's see, which issues are these again? Where does it tell me? I can't see right now. We'll figure that out afterwards. At any rate, we have 2 old issues that involve Doctor Strange and Kulan Gath, and written by Chris Claremont. John Romita Jr. is the artist, and Dan Green, I'm assuming, the colorist. Of course, if you're not familiar, Chris Claremont is of X-Men fame. His X-Men books are widely considered to be among the best ever. I have a big collection of them. I've read them. I love them. So here we see Kulan Gath again. And like I said, I don't want to spend too much time because this is really 2 issues and it's gonna take a very, very long time to go through the whole thing here. Basically, we just need to go to the end so this is where that original story ends, and then we end up with a few extra pages. So what ultimately ends up happening in the story here is Doctor Strange is able to come up with a spell that he's able to trap Kulan Gath, and he thinks that that trap is a permanent trap. Unfortunately, the last couple pages again on here are new work, and he realizes that he has he has not succeeded. Kulan Gath has come back. He notes that Kulan Gath is a cannibal. More pictures of Kulan Gath. Now, Kulan Gath wants to hunt and kill people, but Doctor Strange isn't going to let that happen. And then we have here, so we have to be continued in the pages of Savage Avengers. So, like, nothing major happening here in this issue. Just those reprints. I'm going to try here to figure out really quick what which issues those were. So, like I said here, at the end here, Illyana is looking to destroy Kulan Gath just like everybody else. And the their Uncanny X-Men number 190 and 191 are reprinted in this issue. So I just wanted to show you that because I thought it was really cool that they included a classic story in there that ties in with the current Savage Avengers. I really like that a lot. Now finally we're going to go to the most recent issue of the series, Savage Avengers number 10. Now, in Savage Avengers number 9, they had already engaged Kulan Gath. He's kind of kicking their butts at this point. Dr. Doom has joined the fray, and they're doing everything they can to get rid of this demon. But ultimately, nothing gets resolved there. So we come to Savage Avengers number 10. Now, also, for the sake of keeping this video at a regular length, we will not go too deep into things, but ultimately, Doctor Strange is trying to help Dr. Voodoo, who Kulan Gath has hidden away, I believe, in a pyramid somewhere. They've already tried to kill Kulan Gath. He's not looking as great as he did before, but they aren't stopping there. Now, Doctor Strange at this point has his, I don't remember what it's called, his Iron Strange armor. I don't know what it's called. So he was severely injured in the previous issue, but called upon this suit which protects him and heals him, and he's able to fight back against Kulan Gath. Kulan Gath is definitely not an easy guy to kill, as he lets everyone know he's not a man, he's a god. But he is facing two wizards in Conan and Doctor Doom, and a savage in Conan, so you just never know what's going to happen there. So basically what starts going on is Doctor Doom is keeping Kulan Gath busy while Doctor Strange is trying to help heal. You see the three of them here at the bottom. Together they're going to get Kulan Gath. So this up here, this is actually Brother Voodoo. This is what Kulan Gath has done to him. He has put this alien of some sort on his face, which is sucking his life away. It's slowly killing him, but Doctor Doom and Doctor Strange and Conan aren't going to let this happen. He is constantly yelling that the sword of Conan is going to come for you. Conan, I'm telling you, C-3PO, man. More fighting over here. There's really nothing too serious. They're trying to get this thing off of Dr. Voodoo's head. Conan yells, "Release him or I will kill you again." Doesn't really happen that way. Well, while Doctor Strange was, of course, Doctor Strange being a surgeon, trying to very surgically remove this alien thing from Dr. Voodoo's head, Conan decides on a more brute force approach, grabs it and just chucks it. Of course, Kulangath catches it and then unleashes the gaze of Dormammu on Doctor Doom, which is going to incapacitate him for a while. Doctor Doom is keeping him busy because Dr. Voodoo has passed away and Doctor Strange is doing his best to revive him, to bring him back to life in a different place, which happens right here. So Doctor Strange ends up sending Dr. Voodoo away to a place where he can heal in the swamps of Ogun, where he shows up unannounced, which isn't allowed, but it's an emergency. So they kind of let it pass. And then they tell Doctor Strange, we'll take care of Dr. Voodoo, but you gotta get out of here. So snaps the fingers and he's gone. Back into the fight, back into the fray with Kulangath. And we get to the point here where they are, once again, I'll just read you what Conan's saying. He says, yes, but we didn't slay him. Did we? Anyway, so they didn't slay him. They did manage to trap him again like Doctor Strange had done in the past. It was a group effort between Conan, Doom, and Strange that got that done, but they are all concerned that this is not the last they've heard of Kulangath and that he will be back. And then we come over here, get some interesting dialogue between Strange and Doom. He says, where do you find this man, Victor? And he says, the jungles of Brazil. Any objections? None. Come, we should walk under the sun, the quicker to be done with this hot sand. And so then Conan, who absolutely despises sorcerers, who has decided that he will trust Doctor Doom and Stephen Strange, gets magically whisked back to South America, which he exclaims, filthy wizards, at which point Doctor Doom and Doctor Strange, a very interesting combo, go off together, and at the end here they just sort of say they don't know if they can stop Kulangath. And they Doom's reaction is perhaps with Mephisto, and Strange replies that he really, really hopes they don't have to go down that route because Mephisto's a dangerous guy. And so then again, we'll take another look at the map here. So it shows off him starting off down here around Antarctica, ends up in South America, up to Europe, down to Africa, and then Doctor Doom and Doctor Strange shoot him back to South America. That's a lucky guy, that Conan, and there's a preview, I guess, of the next issue where Doctor Strange and Elektra appear to be getting close. So that is that for those. Now, I did just quickly want to show you what the covers of the other issues do look like, since we didn't really have time to do justice to this series, because I gotta say, I love this series. I think it's fantastic. It's got comic relief, it's got ultra violence, it's got, like I said, the most badass superhero team that's ever been assembled. So this issue number 2 is just a really nice cover with Wolverine and Conan. The third issue is just Conan holding his sword. The fourth issue is the Punisher and Conan using a gun. So that's sort of a departure from Conan's spirit, but cool cover nonetheless. All the covers for these for this series are really good. Number 5 here, you got more of a team shot again. You got Dr. Voodoo, Punisher, Elektra, Venom, Wolverine and Conan front and center there. Savage Avengers number 6, we got some more Frank Castle and Conan. It's really unfortunate that we didn't have more time to go over the issues that dealt with Frank Castle and Venom. They were very cool, but we're already over 25 minutes, so we will leave it at that. Now, I have to say, out of all of the covers of the Savage Avengers series so far, this one of Elektra here is my favorite. I think this is just an awesome pose. She looks amazing. She looks tough. Gotta love it. Number 8 is To Dine with Doom. Believe it or not, Dr. Doom wasn't initially in the series, and I don't remember if it was issue 8 where he showed up, but I think it might have been issue 7 at the end. And I remember when reading it thinking, I'm kind of starting to wane in my interest in this. And then Doom showed up and everything got super cool after Dr. Doom showed up, which not terribly surprising because Dr. Doom's awesome. And then I showed you this already, issue number 9, Death to Kulan Gath. So this has been my review of the Savage Avengers so far. It could have been a lot more detailed, but nobody wants to sit there for an hour and a half listening to me talk about one comic series, so I thought I would just show you some of the important stuff. Moving forward, we'll definitely be reviewing each new issue of Savage Avengers as it comes out. So, I am the Son of the Morning. Thank you for joining me today. Please like and subscribe, and we will talk to you when it's time for the next video.